So in case you guys have been living under a rock, Resident Evil 7 is now confirmed and set for a 2017 release in January, as a matter of fact. And today, guys, I'm here to clarify and just give you guys some information as to what exactly you can expect from Resident Evil 7. Now, first things first, a lot of people have been talking about, well, this is going to be a reboot, this is going to be a remodeling of Resident Evil 7. Actually, that's not the case. Resident Evil 7 is not going to be a reboot at all. And of course, to back those claims up, we have a direct quote from the game producer as stated, it's the next title in the numbered series, so obviously it's a part of the Resident Evil universe and overall canon, so to speak. It's not a separate thing, but we intentionally made it so that maybe when you play it first, you'll think most, well, how could this possibly be related to the rest of the Resident Evil franchise? But it is. It's an extension of the series so far. It's not a reboot, it's the next main game. So in case you guys are wondering, well, this is a reboot, no, it is not a reboot. Now, herbs have been confirmed, in case you guys are wondering, well, what about herbs? Herbs have been confirmed in Resident Evil 7, and Resident Evil 7 will maintain some continuity with the series through returning mechanics, of course, one of them being the herbs. So we haven't really seen the structure of herbs be brought back in such a long time, but then again, they're going to be returning in Resident Evil 7 now. Criticism for Resident Evil 6 was heard, and so the negative backlash that we all had for Resident Evil 6 has ultimately been corrected in Resident Evil 7. So even from the game's producers directly, they said that Resident Evil 6 was a crisis that left, you know, people wondering, well, what the hell is the identity of the game? And now that Resident Evil 7 is back, it has a true identity, in which case Resident Evil 7 was also inspired by Resident Evil 1, which is huge because they actually went off the idea of Resident Evil 1, and not only that, but Resident Evil 7 was also inspired by classic American horror movies, which again is absolutely awesome to see how Capcom took bits and pieces from movies like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and they adapted that idea into the game. Now, they even quoted by saying the atmosphere of the 70s and 80s American horror films. Now, again, Capcom has adapted certain movies into the game as well, which is why the house has a lot of importance. Now, they also stated, you know, that maintaining a mystery of the game is crucial. Now, there are going to be certain things in RE7 that are going to be remained a mystery, in which case you cannot possibly solve, but they removed the action factor, which is pretty cool because this house is absolutely huge, and some people might be wondering, well, how big is this house? Is it bigger than the Spencer Mansion? That is yet to be confirmed, but this house is massive in scale. We have several floors, several basement areas, and as you progress throughout the house, you'll find out exactly what had happened there and exactly why you're there and you can't really leave. So Capcom has also stated that fewer enemies will be appearing in the game, but the fewer the enemies, the more meaningful the battles. So don't expect any crazy ass enemies to appear. And actually, there was a question stated, and that question being, will we be facing ghosts or evil spirits in Resident Evil 7? Even though the actual threat that awaits us couldn't be revealed, at least not yet, the direct quote from the game's producers was, one thing I can say is that it's not going to be some kind of zombie horror where you have to mow down zombies. We're trying to take it in a more personal and intimate scale of horror by there being fewer enemies, but each one poses a significant threat. That's the kind of horror approach we're going for. So, does this mean that the demonic family that exists within that house is going to be after you? The mother, the son, the sister, the brother? I mean, we have absolutely no idea what exactly awaits us, but we have to expect fewer enemies. People are going to be expecting roller coaster waves of zombies and stuff, but that might not be the case for this game in particular. There may be zombies lurking within the household that the family has captured, but of course, towards the end of the demo, we see where I presume is going to be the father, where he grabs you and he tells you, welcome to the family, son, and then he just knocks you out, and then you're faced there within the kitchen area with this demonic woman-like figure lurking in the background who just happened to kill your friend. So the kitchen demo validated the concept of Resident Evil 7 having to be based in the house, and people have often wondered, well, Resident Evil 7 is going to go back to Raccoon City, even though Raccoon City is destroyed, which makes no sense. But people have often wondered what it's going to be about, where it's going to be taking place. So Resident Evil 7 is going to be taking place within this house and around the area as well. So that is the overall synopsis of RE7, which is going to be dropping January 24th, 2017, which again is going to be awesome. Now, I want to bring up some concepts that people are talking about. Some people might be pissed and they might be saying, well, this is just a copy and paste of PT. This is by no means a copy and paste of the demo PT Silent Hills. This definitely has elements that are similar, but in no way, shape, or form are Resident Evil 7, the beginning hour, and PT, similar in any way, shape, or form. We have this family that is after you, presumably, and we have all sorts of, things happening within the house that are just affecting you in so many ways, and alongside your friends as well. There hasn't been a confirmation yet on whether or not you can use guns, swords, knives and axes and hammers and stuff. We're not entirely sure if you can use those weapons as of right now. As time goes on, we're going to get to have more information as to what you can use, but the game was said to be solely based on survival horror. So how are you going to survive being alone in this house with all sorts of demonic things happening, with all sorts of creatures lurking within the house, and you virtually have nothing to defend yourself with? I mean, remember, keep in mind that the entire house is virtually falling apart and you're in there trying to escape, but whatever is in that house is not allowing you to escape. So you're going to have to defend yourself off. You're going to have to find shelter. You're going to have to stick and move, and whatever's in that house is after you. Presumably several creatures, several different, entities coming after you. So whether or not you can use a gun, I'm pretty sure you can. Herbs have returned, so if you get hurt by any one of these creatures, you're going to have to recover by finding these herbs throughout the house. And of course, the house was said to have traps, so there are certain places that you cannot go to, otherwise you will instantly die. So who knows what's going to happen. We saw voodoo dolls being hung from the ceiling in the demo. We saw certain parts of the house just be heavily boarded up, like somewhat similar to where they don't want something coming in, nor do they want something leaving the structural foundation of where that door is leading the pathway to. So we don't know like how far down you can go in the basement. We don't really know what's going on in the basement. As you saw in the demo, there are trapped rooms and hidden rooms and passageways that we saw with the chimney when you pulled a lever and there was a secret door. So there are going to be certain places you can easily go to escape. Again, Capcom took the ideas from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Conjuring, and several other films and movies and games, mainly inspired by the first game. As we can see, the first game had a mansion, and now, practically 7 games later in the series, or at least in the number series, we're going back to the traditional, factor of having to be trapped within a house. So in the first game, we had a mansion. Now we have this massive house, and it's not just a regular house. Again, if you look at some of the posters, this house looks incredibly big. So there are going to be certain things that are going to be happening within that place that requires you to get out as fast as possible. And even in the trailer, you get to see, someone dragging you throughout the dirt and the mud outside, dragging you back in the house, because presumably enough, you are going to try to escape and find answers, but of course, whatever is in there is not allowing you to, just venture out into the wilderness. So leave your thoughts down below, guys. What are your overall expectations for Resident Evil 7? Are you guys looking forward to the game? And what are your overall thoughts to RE7 being the best RE game yet? What are your overall thoughts on the game mechanics and whatnot? Comment down below. Are you guys going to be getting the game? And if so, for what platform? Thank you guys for watching once again. If you guys are fans of horror, Resident Evil, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That way you guys don't miss all the latest news, information, and updates for Resident Evil. If you guys are stoked about this game, if you guys cannot wait to get this game, smash that like button, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Tune in for more information, guys, and I'll be seeing you all inside of this demonic farmhouse, because again, if you really look at what's going on here, something is happening to our main character. Something's going on that we can't necessarily put a finger on, because this family is there and we don't really know what happened to them, even though it seems kind of similar to PT, because there was a family and presumably the father killed the daughter and whatnot. Here, of course, we do have an understanding that certain people have pointed out that the man that grabbed you towards the end of the trailer could be the father that killed everyone off in the house. So we don't know what's going on. Just expect lots of scares. And one more thing as well, the virtual reality headset. Now, the VR is totally optional. Now, people are saying, well, RE7 is going to be solely based on VR. The VR is optional. You can either equip that and use to play that or not. That's entirely up to you. So if you don't want to use your headset, if you guys plan on getting a headset, if you guys don't plan on using the VR, you can simply turn it off. If you guys do want to use the VR, it is entirely optional. So the VR was promoted for Resident Evil 7, nor was the game solely based on having to promote that entirely, because the first person aspect of Resident Evil 7 came before the VR, in case you guys are wondering. So the first person portion of Resident Evil 7 came first, and then they adapted the VR for the people that are going to be getting the headsets. So in case you guys are wondering, the VR does offer a massive amount of just tension when you put it on, and which is why they're saying that if you put the VR on, it might make the game unbearable for some because it'll be too horrifying. So people that are going to be buying the headsets, just take lots of caution while playing this game with the headset, because you could catch a heart attack if you just happen to do certain things. So people who are going to be using the VR headset, just use it with caution, because that's what they're promoting. Of course, the game will be heavily terrifying, as they quoted, and as they specifically stated that the game will be the scariest RE game in history. Just be prepared to see things that sometimes you don't normally want to see. So leave your thoughts below, guys, if you guys are going to be playing with the headset or not. Comment down below. Thank you all for watching once again. Tune in for more updates and info, and I'll be seeing you all later. Take it easy, guys. Peace.